So too much information. Let's testing a CSV generator. Okay. For this, I create a new file called API.py. Okay, API. Okay, and inside I will import some modules. Import OS, import CSV, and I will say from copy, import deep copy. Okay. From marshmallow, import schema, fields, preload. Okay, again from marshmallow, import, validate, import length, range. Okay, range. And then I will say define a class called user schema, schema. I will receive an schema as parameter, and I will say email equal to fields dot email require true. Similarly, I would say name fields, in this case string, it's also required, but I would say validate also, and length min 1. Okay. Let's continue saying h equals fields dot integer require equal true, and validate range and min 18 to max of 65. Role will be on string also. Then I will use some decorators inside here. I will say preload, pass many, pass false, and I will define a function, a method strip name self dot data copy, deep copy data, and then I will try and accept data copy, name data copy, data copy name dot strip attributes error key error and type error pass, and finally I will return data copy. So I will say schema equal to user schema let's delete here and instead save data. This report is where we import the modules we need, OS and CSV, and some tools for Marshmallow, and then we define the schema for the users. As you can see, we're here from marshmallow.schema, and then we set for fields. Notice we're using two string fields, email and integer. This will already provide us with some validation from Marshmallow. Notice there is no required true in the role field. Okay, we need to add a couple of custom bits of code. So we need to add validate 8 to make sure that the value is within the range we want. We raise a validation error in case it's not. At Marshmallow, we kindly take care of raising an error should we pass anything but integer. Next, we add a validate name because the fact that a name key is a dictionary when there doesn't guarantee that the name is actually not empty. So we take it, we take its value, we strip all leading and trailing white space characters. If the result is empty, we raise a validation error exception again. Notice we don't need to add custom validator for the email field. This is because Marshmallow will validate it. Invalid email. A valid email cannot be empty. We then instantiate a schema so that we can use it to validate data. So let's write to the export function. Let's create the export function. It will receive a file name and users overwrite equal true as default. Inside I'll say if not over, no, okay, I will say invalid users, valid users equal to get valid users write CSV file name valid users. Okay, as you see here, its internal are quite straightforward. If overwrite is false and the file already exists, we'll raise an IO error with a message saying that the file already exists. Otherwise, if we can proceed, we simply get the list of valid users, fit it to write underscore CSV, which is responsible for actually doing the jobs. Let's see how all these functions are defined. So let's try with, let's continue with defining a function called get valid users. You will receive users, and you will say here yield from filter is valid users. Okay, and then also we define is valid user return no schema dot validate user. Turns out our code get validated users as a generator, as there is no need to make a potential list of order to put it in a file. We can validate and save them one by one. And the head of validation is simply a delegation to schema.validate, which uses validation engine and marshmallows. The way it works is by returning a dictionary, which is empty if validation succeeded, or else it will contain error information. We don't really care about collecting the error information for these tags, so we simply ignore it. And within is that cause validating function, we basically return true if the return true from schema.validate is empty and false otherwise. One last piece is missing here. It's the function write underscore CSV function. So let's define it. And I will say def write CSV function file name users, okay, and file names equals to email name age role, with open file name x new line as an empty string CSV file. Inside we define we say, well, here is email with writer equals csv dot dict writer csv file the file names field names equal to field name, okay, writer the write header for user in users, write the writer dot writer row I will pass user, and it's okay. Again, the logic is straightforward. We define the header in its names, and then we open a file name for writing, okay, and we specify new line is equal empty string, which is recommended in a documentation when dealing with CSV files. When the file has been created, we get a writer object by using the csv.dict writer class. And the beauty of this tool is that it's capable of mapping the user's directories to the field names, so we don't need to take care of the order. We write the header first, we loop over the users, and then one by one. Notice these functions assumed it spits a list of valid users, and it may break if that assumption is false. With the default values, it will break if any user directory had extra field. That's the whole code you have to keep in mind. So I suggest you spend a moment to go through it again. There is no need to memorize it. The fact that I have used small helper functions with meaningful names will enable you to follow the testing along more easily.